Again, there's that he likes to do. That's a slow bend, and you can really put your feeling into it by not quite getting there all at once, and then slowly bringing it up. And that creates that's an interesting lick right there, because I'm always tempted to play around with the root way too much. So I probably would have gone there, but him going to the, I think it creates some nice tension. And here we're going into the While My Guitar Gently Weeps tease. There's another very traditional Warren lick. So starting a bend off, usually on the first string, although you can probably do it on the second string too, but the first string's where I often hear this, where it's a very almost discordant but at the same time pleasing bend that incorporates, you allow your, because when you bend all the strings get shoved up together, and you allow the other string to be plucked, to come into that, and it creates something like this, which sounds kind of totally discordant if it's just played on its own like that. But it adds a nice growl and an aggression and emotion to the playing, I think. So he starts off bending. So pretty much you're just incorporating on your bend, first just plucking the first string, and I think it helps to pluck it upward. Yes, that you're avoiding hitting the other strings, but then you allow the pluck to go a little further and start including the second, maybe even the third string. And this run, which reminds me, something I learned a couple years ago, which has really helped me, is my picking hand. I've never felt super confident in, but one of my guitar teachers that I had when I was in college suggested, I think at the time I was holding the pick way too much like this and doing way too much motion with my thumb and forefinger, which I still tend to do, but he suggested I don't even remember what his suggestion was, but I ended up holding the pick sometimes more like this, where my fingers are a little more closed, and rather than have my fingertip like that, it's the fingers come together a little more, and it's a very comfortable picking action actually, and I use that on faster runs because it gives me more control. So I'm not hitting other notes, I'm not hitting the wrong notes. I think the open hand comes in handy more when you want to be more subtle and have a little bit of finger action. But if you just want straight picking accurately, I find that this actually helps a little bit better. So that one, not starting here, but and there's another Warren. Which is almost like Jimmy Page's in Stairway to Heaven. And that one almost maybe is slightly overbent just to give a little tension. And now, super cliche, or super, I don't want to say cliche because there's a negative connotation to that, but Warren does it a whole lot, and he's really good at it, and I'm going to do my best. And right now there's a whole lot of gain, so that might be interfering with the way I'm playing this. So let me just try and get the Marshall Plexi setting back and see how this will do. Yeah, I think you can hear it a little bit better there. There's not as much gain clouding up the notes. It's a mixture of raking and hammering on at the right time. And this one isn't even so much about really what you're playing is, that's what I'm doing. So I'm barring all these at the 12, 15, 17th fret in the A position, creating the that kind of, I've heard Stevie Ray Vaughan do that a lot, except now it's all of them. But it's up here now, and Warren does it. It's raking and back. It's a rake up and then rake back. Trying to think what else I can say about that one. That one's a lot of just listening and practicing. And after that one comes the major super bend, where Warren really puts his forearm into it. So. And I noticed a lot of players like John Mayer are able to get real fast wrist action. Warren, whether because he can or cannot, doesn't matter. Really, his strength comes from the elbow. And anyway, so the wrist kind of remains a little more rigid, and the elbow does most of the work. Alright, and that one there's a lot of notes going on. It took me a while to learn this one actually when I was listening to it. So starting here. And that one I think is a real cool way that he ended the song. If you can tell, you know, in the video he turns to Matt Apps, signals the end of the song, and it all comes together really nicely. So right there, that's maybe bend up a little. And the bending down really helps. And as he's bending down, you can hear him flick over the pickup switch to the bridge, turn the volume down all at the same time, and then you're back in the Alright, so right now we might be at something like 20 minutes or more. I guess I'll have to post this in multiple parts. Hope that helped, and to Darth Sage, I think, whoever requested the tutorial, hope that helps. Alright, see ya, bye.